So, there I was, a college student taking on a part-time gig at a charming little flower shop just in time for Valentine's Day. Seemed like a sweet deal, arranging bouquets, helping customers pick out the perfect roses, spreading the love. Little did I know that Valentine's Day was about to take a dark turn. The day started like any other, with the sweet scent of flowers filling the air and lovey-dovey couples pouring into the shop. I was busy arranging a beautiful bouquet when I noticed an old man shuffling towards the counter. He had this eerie look in his eyes, like he carried the weight of a lifetime of heartbreak. He handed me a crumpled note, a request for a special bouquet. The note was written in shaky handwriting, detailing the flowers and their arrangement. It was a bit odd, but hey, it was Valentine's Day, and people get sentimental, right? I set to work, carefully crafting the bouquet exactly as the note instructed. Red roses, white lilies, and black calla lilies, an unusual combination, but who am I to judge? As I finished, the old man's eyes seemed to glint with an unsettling satisfaction. Night fell, and the shop closed its doors, leaving me alone with the bouquet and the ominous note. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off about those black calla lilies, the dark beauty casting a shadow over the cheerfulness of the other flowers. I decided to call it a day, locking up the shop and heading home. But as I stepped outside, the wind carried an eerie whisper, like a soft voice muttering incomprehensible words. I shook it off, telling myself it was just the wind playing tricks. The next morning, the news hit like a ton of bricks. A couple, the recipients of the mysterious bouquet, had been found lifeless in their home. The black calla lilies, it turned out, were not just flowers. They were known for their toxic properties. The police questioned me about the old man, but he was nowhere to be found. The shop, once a haven of blossoming romance, now carried an air of tragedy. Valentine's Day, meant to be a celebration of love, had taken a dark turn, leaving a trail of death and mystery. I couldn't shake the guilt, wondering if I could have somehow known that the request was more than just a harmless gesture. The flower shop became a haunting reminder of the unexpected darkness that lurked beneath the surface of seemingly ordinary days. In the end, I left that part-time job.
Valentine's admirer, Lane. Last Valentine's Day was something out of a nightmare, and I can't shake off that memory. It all began innocently enough, a mysterious Valentine's Day card with no return address, just a blood-red envelope sealed with a heart. I took a look at it nervously, thinking it was some dark humor from a friend. However, I had no idea that it would be the beginning of a terrifying experience. As I opened the ominous card, the message inside gave me goosebumps.
I've been watching you, and tonight, you'll be mine.
I was filled with dread as the words appeared to pop off the page. It was more akin to a sentence from a horror film than the typical Valentine's Day message. Trying to play it cool, I dismissed it as a prank and decided to go out for a simple dinner with my significant other. The restaurant had a charming vibe thanks to its numerous heart-shaped decorations. Warm glows from softly muted lights created an intimate atmosphere that seemed to envelop every table. Engaged in a world where every detail spoke of love and connection, couples were immersed in the beautiful settings. I tried to enjoy the romantic evening, but the unsettling feeling of being watched persisted. When I returned home, the atmosphere in my apartment had transformed. What was once warm and familiar now felt cold and unsettling. Every sound echoed in the emptiness of the space. I couldn't shake the feeling that someone was lurking in the shadows, observing my every move. Determined not to let paranoia ruin the night, I tried to distract myself with a movie. With a press of the remote control, I navigated through the TV channels, scrolling through an array of movie options. The screen flickered, presenting a tempting lineup. Most seemed boring, yet I scrolled through to find something that would make me feel better. Yet, even the comforting glow of the screen couldn't dispel the unease. The clock ticked closer to midnight, and that's when things took a turn for the worse. Out of the blue, my phone rang with an unknown number flashing on the screen. Hesitant but curious, I answered, only to be met with eerie silence at first. Then, a raspy voice whispered,
I told you, tonight you'll be mine.
Panic set in, and I slammed the phone down, my mind racing with fear and confusion. As if on cue, the lights in my apartment flickered, casting eerie shadows on the walls. I fumbled for my phone, using its flashlight to navigate the now ominous space. That's when I saw it, a message scrawled on the living room wall in what looked like blood.
Happy Valentine's Day, my love.
The words seemed to ridicule me, and it dawned on me that this was something much darker than a practical joke. I started to panic, and I knew I had to get out of there. I hastily packed a bag, leaving behind the unnerving message on the wall, and fled my own apartment. The following days were a blur of fear and paranoia. I couldn't shake off the feeling that someone was watching me, following my every move. The once beloved holiday of love now filled me with dread, and every approaching February 14th was a haunting reminder of that twisted Valentine's Day. Months passed, and the fear began to subside. I tried my best to convince myself that it was just a sick joke or a random act of insanity. But deep down, the unanswered questions lingered. Who had sent that card, and why? Was it a disgruntled ex-lover, a deranged stranger, or someone with a more sinister motive? I decided to involve the authorities. I reported the incident, shared the unsettling details, and hoped they could uncover the identity of the person behind that nightmarish Valentine's Day. The investigation, however, yielded little progress. No fingerprints, no leads, just a lingering sense of vulnerability. Valentine's Day came around again, and I couldn't escape the memories. The sight of heart-shaped decorations and romantic gestures triggered anxiety, and I found myself constantly looking over my shoulder. The experience had left scars on my psyche, and love, once a source of joy, had become entwined with fear. If you found any enjoyment in the video, I implore you to click that like button and subscribe if you dare.